It's prime time, Friday night, December 21st, 2023, and I've got three best bets for you tonight in the primetime games right here. This is the Free Three. What's up, guys? It's your boy Noble Living back with another BYF Bets video where I'm breaking down my favorite picks and plays of the day as we just try to get to the bag together and make some money. We ended off the month of November the way that we wanted to. Let's go. We got a sweep on the board, 2-0 on the day yesterday. Cash on the Cowboys team total, no sweat bet there. That flew over. It's for like 40 points there. Love to see it. Then we also cashed on our plus 100 player prop parlay, Pollard receptions and Charbonnet carries, no sweat bet there. 2-0 on the day. You love to see. You can see our year-to-date record right here. Our record in November, we finished the month 42, 27, and 1. That's a 60% hit rate on the month. Love to see it. Another 60% month here on the channel. We'll continue to put out winners. I know we got a little cold a little earlier this week, but it's not about how you start. It's about how you finish, my friends. It's always a marathon. So make sure you guys are staying subscribed to the channel, coming back for every single video, because even if I do have a cold day, I promise you this one thing. I'm not going to sit down. I'm going to rebound, and we're going to come back and continue to make some money. All right, my friends? Drop a like on this video and share this with somebody who you know is a sports bettor, so this way we can continue to cash on these bets together and make some money. Now, let's dive into these primetime best bets. So for our first primetime game, you guys know where I got to go. I got to go to the Pac-12 championship. I know you guys want to bet inside that game. It's the last Pac-12 championship game that we know it as we're going to see. Oregon versus Washington. Both of these teams are headed to the Big Ten Conference next year. This one should be our last one of exciting Pac-12 football there. And truthfully, I don't know what's going to happen in this game. But one thing I do know is that more than likely one of these teams will get the chance to more than likely represent the Pac-12 conference in the playoff and get a chance to compete for a national championship. You know, some other things have to happen this weekend. We'll dive into that a little bit later, but I do think the winner of this game is definitely going to get into the playoff. And truthfully, this has been one of the wackiest championship lines that I think I've ever seen. Despite being undefeated, right, the Washington Huskies, they're not favorites here. They're actually underdogs against the Oregon Ducks, and this line has completely moved in favor of the Ducks. It opened up at 7.5 on certain books in favor of the Ducks, and now I'm seeing it as high as 10.5 on some books. That's absolutely crazy to see a team that's undefeated now be an underdog and it's by 10 points in the championship game. That's crazy. So for me, I think that's just a little bit disrespectful. I'm not going to lie to you, especially when you keep in mind that the Huskies beat this Oregon team back in week 7, 35-33. Now, granted, Oregon did kind of blow that game by going 0 for 3 on 4th down and also missing a game-winning field goal. However, for me, I think this market is just giving way too much attention to what Washington has done in November and what Oregon has done in November, and not the entire body of work, right? Now, I get it. Oregon's offense in November has been absolutely incredible. They've been on fire. It's that week 7 loss against Washington. This Oregon offense has been on fire. They've won every single Pac-12 game by double digits. Now, on the other side, for the Washington Huskies, right, they're winners of 5 straight games by 10 points or less, right? And they didn't even cover in some of those games against the spread. But they're a veteran, battle-tested team. They've got a clear identity. They know how to win, but they've also proven that they know how to beat Oregon as well. I mean, we saw that earlier this year. So for me, my pick is very simple in this one. I'm going to go with what I've been doing in all of the big games this year, and I'm going to tease it. I know some people are against teasing college football, but in my opinion, this is just way too many points on both sides of it. So I'm going to take Washington teased up on a 6.5 point teaser. So I'm going to take Washington plus 16.5, and I'm going to take the under 72 and minus 115 odds right there as the best bet of the day. Now, I get it, right? Oregon's offense, like we mentioned, has been absolutely on fire. They've been scoring the ball. But for me, I think the extra points just add some insurance here, because do you really think that Washington is going to lose in the championship game by more than 3 possessions? I don't think so. And that's just my personal opinion. Maybe they might lose this game by 2 touchdowns and lose on the spread, but that's why I want that 16.5 number there. So just in case, you know, if we get to 16 points here, I don't think they lose this game by 2 touchdowns and a field goal. I don't think so, right? But another thing that I've also looked at when I was handicapping this game is just the offenses on both of these teams are really good, but they're not as prolific as you might think they are. And what I mean by that is they can score points. They put together really long drives. They methodically move the football. They lack explosiveness on both sides. And when you lack explosiveness, it makes it very hard for you to go over a high total, because typically you need to score points, but you have to have big plays to score points quickly. Does that make sense? Oregon's offense, they lead the whole nation in success rate on offense, and they rank 2nd in finishing drives, but they're 82nd in explosiveness. Shout out to Action Network for giving me some of these numbers here. The Huskies on the other side are ranked 4th in offensive success rate. When it comes down to their offensive explosiveness, they're ranked 90th in passing off explosiveness and 78th in rushing explosiveness. So what does that tell me? That both of these teams can score points, but they're putting together longer drives, methodically moving the football, which makes it very hard for you to get an over if you're not getting a ton of points and a lot of times, right? Washington totals have stayed in the 40s in the past 2 weeks, and that was against a Washington State team and an Oregon State team. And the Huskies, they have now been able to start changing up the game a little bit. And what I mean by that is in their play calling. At the beginning of the year, it was Michael Penix everything. Let's feed Michael Penix. Let's feed Michael Penix. Let him do what he does. Now, don't get me wrong. The quarterback, Heisman hopeful candidate, he's an amazing quarterback. But if you've been watching their games over the last few weeks, they've been getting running back Dylan Johnson a lot more involved in the game as well. And they've called nearly as many run attempts as they've done pass attempts. So what does that also tell me? That this might not be a game where Michael Penix is dropping back 45, 50 times to throw the ball. They might try to eat some clock. They might try to run the ball. They might try to establish some type of offensive tempo and rhythm to keep that Oregon offense off the field. So because of that, I think this is just one of those things where it's a clock management game. Does Oregon get enough possessions to go over this total on both the point spread and the full game? I don't think so. I think Washington is able to score enough points, keep this game close enough, but in the overall grand scheme in terms of total possessions, I don't think we get enough to get over the 72 number that I teased it to. I like the overall under in the game at like the 66, 67, 65 and a half that it's at as well. But for me, I'm just going to go with the insurance teaser here. Washington plus 16 and a half. Under 72, way too many points for me in a championship game there. If I lose on this because, Oregon just blows them out, then so be it. Then Washington, everybody was right about Washington all wrong, but I don't really think that's the case. Everybody's written off this team week after week. We've seen them underdogs against Oregon State. We saw people say they might lose against Washington State. We saw them say that they were supposed to lose against Arizona State and Arizona, but they find a way to win games. And for me, I'm not going to go against that, especially when if you win this game, you get a chance to play for the national championship. So let's just go with the teaser, 6.5 points, minus 115 odds is our best bet. Now for our second best bet of the day, I'm going to go to the NBA hardwood. I'm going to go to the ESPN primetime game between the Celtics and the Sixers. Early primetime game there for you. Both of these teams have been very impressive to start the year, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Both teams are ranked in the top 5 in offensive rating, and I think the offense carries both of these teams today. And while I do like the overall over in this game, I'm going to isolate this one to the first half, and I'm going to go with the Celtics and the 76ers first half over 114 and a half total points, minus 115 odds, okay? Now, if you look at the games that they played against each other to start this year, they've played each other twice already. Both of those games were in Philadelphia, and both of these teams combined for a total of 115 points in the first half in both of those games. So we would have just won both of these bets on the hook there. But when you dive into the numbers a little bit more, I like this over even more in this matchup today. One, because the Celtics are at home and not on the road. They have one of the best first half offenses in all the NBA. They're actually second in first half scoring per game. They're averaging 62 points per game, but that number actually jumps even higher when they're at home to over 64 points per game. Now, Philly on the other side, they can score points in the first half as well, as they're 11th in first half scoring, averaging about 58 points per game. So if you do want to take Boston's first half team total over 59, I'm not opposed to that. I do like that pick as well, but I don't think that is as strong because Philly, even though they're not as strong as a first half number based on the numbers, right? And Boston does have the 4th best first half scoring defense, only giving about 53 points per game. I think this number is just a little bit skewed here because the Celtics are going to be in this matchup without Kristaps Porzingis, and they're going to miss him for an extended period of time. And because of that, his presence, his rim protection, that's big for them defensively, and they're going to be missing that. In the 2 games that he's missed since going down with the calf injury, Celtics have given up 50 first half points to the Bulls. Not that impressive, right? But the Bulls have the worst first half scoring offense in all the NBA, and they give up 53 first half points to the Hawks. The Hawks are a really good scoring offense. To see them keep them to 53 points is pretty impressive. But the one thing that neither of those teams have is the presence of a player like Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid, we've seen what he can do, especially against teams that don't have big men to stop him, and he's coming off a game of rest. He didn't play in their last game against the Pelicans, and yes, I know some of my people who follow the Celtics and the Sixers matchup know that Al Horford historically has had Embiid's number defensively. He plays him really well, but let's be honest, Al Horford's 37 years old. He's not moving the way that he used to move. He's not even playing as many minutes as he used to play. But then also on the other side, come on, Joel Embiid right now, he's in prime MVP form. I mean, the dude's almost averaging a triple-double over the last 5-6 games. He's coming crazy at you in different angles, from the free throw line, from the three-point line, with the passing, with that dribble handoff action, with the jump shot, the turnaround. He can give it to you any type of way. And you gotta also keep in mind that in years past, Al Horford has had other big men to kind of help him out with Embiid, whether it's Porzingis coming from the weak side. Robert Williams used to be there for the Celtics. He's not going to have that safety valve today. So because of that, I think this is one that we see a lot of scoring in this one. I think Embiid gets off. I think he gets his points where he needs to get off. And then also the Celtics like to push the tempo, shoot a lot of threes, which can also lead to leak outs for Maxey, who likes to run. We've seen Tobias Harris, who can catch and shoot pretty easily. We've seen Melton, who likes to jack up a few threes as well. Because of that, I think this one is going to be a little bit more offensively heavy in this matchup, and I think both of these teams are going to be able to score this ball at will today. Porzingis is a big loss for the Celtics team defensively, but we also seen both of these teams go over this first half total even when he was in the lineup. So let's go with the Celtics and Sixers first half over 114.5 points as the best bet. But if you do want another lean or angle, then you might want to just take the Celtics first half team total over 59, as they've been able to go over that pretty easily in the last few weeks. But I think even if they score 62, 63, then we only need the Sixers just get like 53, 55, which they should easily do to still get over this total. So let's lock that in as our second best bet. Now for our third and final best bet, we're going to go to the other primetime matchup. I told you I'm going to give you 3 primetime matchups today, and we're going to go to the late night NBA ESPN game. And we've got the matchup between the Nuggets and the Suns. And for me, the biggest thing when you're handicapping this Nuggets and Sun game is going to be the injury report. Tons of injuries from star players on both sides of the ball, which is going to make or break this game. The Nuggets, we got to figure out if Aaron Gordon's going to be playing. He's questionable right now with the heel injury. We know he missed the last game. Jamal Murray, he's questionable as well with an ankle injury, but he did play in his last game. We love to see that he's back for this Nuggets team, because when Jamal Murray's playing, that offense literally goes to a whole nother level. So we definitely want to make sure that he's playing in this matchup. And then the Suns on the other side, we have to figure out if Devin Booker's playing. He's questionable with an ankle injury as well. And then we know that Bradley Beal is out with the back injury. So a lot of injury question marks around this game. But for me, I still like the total in this one. And I'm going to go with the Nuggets and Suns over 224.5 minus 110. Now the line's already moved in favor of the opened up at 222. Now it's at 224. But I still like the over in this matchup, because when you look at the numbers, right, both of these teams are really strong on offense. Denver has the 4th best adjusted net rating in the NBA right now, and the 2nd best adjusted offensive rating. You love to see that, right? And all of these ratings, all these offensive numbers, what that just means is that they're efficient on offense and they score a lot of points. The Nuggets are 13th in the NBA right now in points per game at 114 points, and that's despite the fact that Murray has missed a lot of games due to injury. Now on the other side, Phoenix has the 7th best offense in the NBA in terms of points per game. They're averaging about 116 points per game, but that number jumps up even higher when they're at home to over 119 points per game. The Suns like to play fast at home in front of that Phoenix crowd there, and I think that benefits the Nuggets in this matchup just as much as it benefits them. And then when you look at some of the numbers, the Suns are 7-1 to the over at home. That includes games against Utah, San Antonio, and Portland, which all went over, and those 3 teams are in the bottom 10 in the NBA in points per game. So obviously we have to know if the stars are playing. If Jamal Murray's out, if Devin Booker's out, this number might bump down even more, and then you might be able to get it a little cheaper. If I can get the over at 219 because both of these guys are out, I like it even more. I'm not going to lie to you, because one thing that I know is Jokic, he elevates the players around him. So even though you might be worried that, hey, Murray's not going to play, Aaron Gordon might not play, then for me, I would lean towards the Nuggets on the money line, even though I don't know if you're going to get the same type of value that you're going to get right now. They're favored by 2.5 points. I'm seeing like minus 135, minus 140 on the money line. I still like the Nuggets to win this game outright, but especially if Murray doesn't play and Booker doesn't play, I definitely like the Nuggets to win the game, because Jokic really gets his other teammates more involved than Kevin Durant does. Now, Kevin Durant, offensive explosion of a player, an amazing offensive player, but he doesn't elevate his teammates kind of the way that Joker does. So for me, the game is to take the over 224.5. You want to make sure you're paying attention to the injury reports. So maybe put like a unit down now, save a few units, a unit or two for when, we get a little bit more information a little bit later on in the evening here. But I do think that if the stars do play, the over is going to fly over. Even if they don't play, I still like the over, but you might be able to get it at a cheaper number. And then also you might want to lean towards the Nuggets on the money line in this one as well. All right, my friends, that's 3 best bets for you, 3 primetime games. You can watch this all on ESPN, all on national television. You don't need any league pass. You don't need any subscription to get this done. Teaser, Washington plus 16.5 and under 72 in the Pac-12 championship game. Then we're going to go to the Celtics and Sixers, first half over 14.5 points. You can also link to the Celtics first half, team total over 59 in that one as well. And then we're going to go with the Nuggets and Suns over 224.5, and you could also lean towards the Nuggets on the money line. Again, pay attention to the injury news in all these matchups, but especially in this last one. Well, that's it for me today, my friends. 3 best bets, 3 winners that are coming to you on this Friday. So make sure, as always, that you guys put in these bets, practice bankroll management, and take that profit. Don't give back money back to the books. Make sure you take that profit. And I'll see you guys tomorrow as I'll drop some YouTube shorts with my favorite picks and plays of the college football slate, as we have amazing conference championship games going on Saturday here in the college football slate. So be on the lookout for that on the channel. And as always, dictate your fate. I'll see you in the next video, and let's continue to cash in on those bets. Later, guys.